got a little bit of a project, and that we have to convert our existing project to a new format so that it works. I was muted. I was. Thank you, Black Tomcat. I should not be muted right now. In fact, I'm a little too loud. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good day. So, we've got this project here. Um, I don't know if it's well, basically what this project is. This here is a extraordinarily early prototype. I don't know what else to call it. Um, Actually, we could call it what Matt was calling it. Matt on Discord helped find this, helped figure this out, and this is in the Cloudflare workers. I think Matt might be a Cloudflare employee. Um, I'm looking up the Discord at the moment, trying to figure out what he called it. Yeah, it's not really in a state where it's ready for prime time. So, it's not ready for prime time. Minimum viable product? I don't think it's even reached that point yet. It's not even at that point. But you know, if we come across some things, we're gonna give them some feedback. Right, try to make it better as best we can, just by trying it out. So, in the new world, the new world, the new world. Where is it? Yes. Here we've got our wrangler.toml file. I was trying and trying and trying, and I couldn't figure out how to actually get this working, but the new way works. And we had to convert this project type into a JavaScript project. So now its type is JavaScript. And we've got our durable bindings in here. I think we added these the other day, so that's fine. Now, this is some of the new sauce, and this down here. And that with a JavaScript project, and this is all in the documentation, you can have custom build commands. So you can use rollup, you can use Webpack, right? And you can see that we're running npm run build here. Now, again, this is prototype stage, so it's very, very early. Yeah. So, this is another piece of the secret sauce. The upload format is modules, and you have to have upload format as modules. This will eventually become the new default format for Cloudflare workers, but it's not there yet. So you can use this currently. You have to use it if you want to try out their durable objects, but then using the modules format with durable objects with Rust, you have to have quite a bit more secret sauce. So if we continue to look into this, are Cloudflare Workers services? They are, I don't know, that they're basically, let me show you. So you could have, this is basically the entry point for a worker, or what it was. Yeah, that's right. They're a Lambda. They're basically V8, right? The V8 engine. Because if you look at their security page, it talks a little bit about that. I actually like this song. Actually, like I'm surprised. Huh. All right, we go to platform. They got some other interesting elements in here. I was gonna look at security. I don't remember where security ended up. So under here, security model. Because in here they have some here, a little diagram of what a worker is. Um, Good morning. Morning, Perkin. Yeah, you have these little V8 isolates. Each one of these gets 128 megs of RAM, no matter what. So your JavaScript code is available to that and gets run by that. So you can fire off requests from this to call other ones. You can interact with the rest of their infrastructure. So you have a key value store. You've got these things called durable objects now. You've also got something called cache. So you can interact with Cloudflare's cache platform directly. So instead of having an origin server, you could have some sort of worker write to a cache, which is what we're going to be doing in order to basically have a cache. Oh, these here, the process sandbox. Yeah. So this is a good diagram. This is a decent page. Let's toss that into chat, wherever chat went. There we go. Actually, chat's just a little funky today. Let me reload that page. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah. So your JavaScript, your WASM. WASM is technically JavaScript, right? WebAssembly. I don't know. Is it really JavaScript? It's not JavaScript. Let's split those two apart. They're not the same. But V8 can run WASM and JavaScript, so it's available there. There are some tricky bits in that you cannot load code from a V8 isolate from these. You can't do an eval. So you can't do like a require, right? That dynamically loads things, and that's part of the trouble that that we were seeing in here. I didn't stream yesterday. I was actually I had jury duty, so that's done now. Shortest trial ever. How's our actually? Starlink didn't pop up today. What's going on with Starlink? Oh, so weird. Just one moment, please. It should be this page. Yeah, that should be loaded. Oh, I like the dark version here. But I wonder why that's not loaded. That's so weird. It's just not there. Huh. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to load today. I click the refresh button. No idea. That's too bad. We're missing our little Starlink overlay. One more time. Come on, kick it. I have no idea why that's not loading. That is so weird. It's transparent. You guys can't see it. It's like right here. It should be right here. It's not stacked wrong. Here, I'm gonna reset the transform. It's huge now. Oh yeah. Still no dice. That's too bad. Alright, well, I guess it is what it is. You can't see Starlink today. I'll have to figure that out later. So we're gonna get this running back to the state that we had it before, hopefully. And we might be able to get the emoji counter called from our Cloudflare worker. Here's our Cloudflare worker. Come. Now, we've got two different ones here. We got this one and the previous one. Well, this is our example. And they have some extra stuff in here. Oh, interesting. I wonder why they pinned this. 0265. That's strange. I wonder why. Let's take a quick peek at crates. Crates. Yeah, 0274 is the latest. All right, we're not like it matters, but we'll do that. Well, futures as well. 424. Okay, we're also using WeAlloc. It's not optional. And then we have console error panic hook, which is optional. And it's the default. All right. So we've got those files. I think everything is fine in this file. Let's step into this. Now, I copied a little bit of this over earlier. So we should be set up here. The build command, durable object setup. That all looks good so far. The important piece, this section here. Wait, why? So they have classes here. Durable objects and classes equals. Okay, classes equals that. Interesting. Let's toss a comment down there just to make it look similar. All right. Classes looks correct now. Anything else? Command, upload format. Command, upload format, upload exclude. No, that'll looks good. Okay. Now, after this, we get into the package.json file. And this looks like a regular JavaScript NPM package. We're not doing prettier. We're going to let the editor do that stuff. We do need to have a couple of these main elements, right? Main module, the scripts block. We don't need the other dependencies. So our main and module are already correct. Scripts looks good. We deleted the other pieces that we did not need. What else? That looks all right. Okay. Now from here, we're going to pop into probably index.js and shim.mjs. If we look at shim, all right, this is basically the module. We're importing everything. This is like the top level lib.rs, right? You collect everything here and you choose what you want to export. So do we have a shim? If I could spell it right, we do not. Okay, JS shim.js. So fetch, that's from our bundle. Counter, this will be emoji counter. All right, and handlers as default. So we have a fetch handler, then we've got an emoji counter that's being exported. Those look good. Now the next step is to look into the index.js. In their example, they've got this set up a little different. We could do the same thing. They're importing their counter from some other file. But they have their exports here. So they've got fetch and counter exported here. And this is named incorrectly. I'll rename this yet again. Okay. Now in their example, yes, fetch is an async function, and they're not using the export default syntax. I think I'm going to try to use that. It's a little interesting, but where is their counter? Because I don't see them using Rust in here, even though I know they are here. So we'll need to do something similar to this. Interesting that this is index_bg.js. Okay, we'll see. We'll have to see how the build creates that. So I don't recognize this file. But this is their counter, and I think the only place where they use WebAssembly has this wasm.greet here at the end. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now for us though, we need some sort of loading of that in this area. Oops, counter. So we'll have to figure out what's creating this build wasm index bg. Let's grab that. It's also interesting that they didn't initialize any of the WASM. Right? We used to have to do this setup here, and it's not needed anymore, and I'm not sure why. But we will just trust and hope that that works. Just like so. You know, at this point, it looks like we could just export that. Async fetch is equal to wasm dot fetch handler. I mean, why not? Oh, yes, we're in an object. Export default object. And this can be done in so many ways in JavaScript. The way that they're doing it, um, like the shim, like the module, with an exports set up this way, either one of those works. Okay. I'm not going to export the emoji counter yet. We're going to have that break and make it work. Okay. Now let's see where this file is coming from. Let's try to get this build working. Let's look at the Webpack entry. Yeah, I saw this. They're using an externals with a custom CF WASM loader here. I know there's a lot to take in here. That and some of this is in development when we should have some sort of toggle that says, well, this or production. You want to turn source maps off? We have no use for source maps here. In fact, those are the files that they were excluding from uploading. I think the other valid value there is false. There's like a whole bunch. False is valid for turning those off. What else? Output is index.js. Okay. Minimize true, that's fine. Target web. And this is interesting. This and this. So lines 7 and 13 are kind of paired up together, saying, hey, we want to run in a browser, even though it's just V8 and some magic container. But what is important here is that this is a common JS format. And this is something that tricked me up because there's also something called a module format, which is not the same as common JS. And in their documentation, or rather, yeah, in their documentation, I think it says you have to use a module syntax, which has two meanings. It doesn't necessarily mean common JS, and I had tried using the other. Okay, so then we have CF WASM bits. Got some plugins here. We got this WASM pack plugin. But there's a lot of little bits in here. And we're not going to spend too much time on that. But then we have this copy plugin that just, all it does is copy that shim across. So let's try to do a build. Uh-oh. Okay, that is the right one. We have to be running a special version of Wrangler to make this work. So we had to check that out, build it, and use that. Unknown field upload format. Where's that coming from? Wrangler to Tommel. Okay. Here. No, it should be modules. Expected one of the command, current work directory, watch or upload. Oh, you know what? This is different. I think we need hold upload with format and exclude. Let's pop over to the version of the tool we're using. See, there's this. Actually, we want to go to their GitHub. Let's just open a new tab. GitHub, Cloudflare, Wrangler. Scroll, scroll, scroll. All right. Turbo objects. Yeah, this one here. Oh, interesting. They don't have the documentation in here for that. In this case, they say it's service worker. Okay, let's go to templates provided below. Let's see here, upload dot format is service worker. Let's try for that. All right, upload. Oh, shoot, that is the wrong one. Wrong project. There are no fields for exclude. Modules, build. I've seen a huge list of these globs. Okay. All right, but I think these are the defaults. So we might just be able to ignore that because the map should get included if these are their defaults. Yeah, looks like that's the default. Okay. No. Hey, Missing the Moon. Thank you for the raid and good morning. Good morning. We're currently working on a. Oh, yeah. I missed. Let's see. Occasionally, we get little Starlink drops, and that trips on my chat client, my chat thing. Let's see. Are we using WASM for these workers? Yes, we are. And today, yes, we are doing that. Let's see. And welcome, everyone. We are currently using WASM inside of Cloudflare workers. We're in the process of converting our workers to a different format that will eventually become the default format for Cloudflare. Earlier than beta, earlier like this isn't even like a prototype. This is less than that. But we were able to get a project from a person on Discord that had this working at least forever ago. Hey, good morning, Growl. Growl. Good morning. So we're trying to get this set up and get this working so that we can actually use the durable objects. Durable objects are like a singular instance of a Cloudflare worker that manages its own data store. It's how they do. Oh, thank you for the follow. It's how they end up doing transactions. They'll end up with one instance of this worker for a given ID, for a given piece of data, and all the requests have to go through that one worker for that data. So we're trying to get this up and running. And the big goal is to be able to make something like some website builder tool that is serverless. It's just on Cloudflare's edge network. So you could build a website without having a database, without having AWS storage or any of that. So trying to get these commands correct. Wrangler build. Okay. Oh, cannot find copy Webpack plugin. Good. npm install. Uh-oh. What's it saying here? Could not resolve Webpack 04. Okay, so let's look at our package JSON bits here. These seem okay. What was it saying? We're going to give this a check. Let's pop open a browser. npmjs.com. Oh, and Peyton, did you raid us too? Oh my goodness, thank you for the raid. So let's update these. Let's see, this is 537. Unless you messed it up. I was reloading the browser when you did. Okay, so Webpack should be 5, was it 37? Yep, 537, looking down here. 37. Webpack CLI. Just grab the latest versions. 4.7. Let's see, loader utils. Who knows? Not familiar with this one. 2.0, that's fine. File loader. 6.2. That's good. Copy Webpack plugin. 8.1.1. Wow. 8. Okay, and what else? These tools here. Okay, 1.4.0. And one more. Last one. 1.50. Okay. Oh, this wants a pure of 4? Ooh. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh. I miss Rust already. Oh, interesting. Webpack 5 has been released, and with it comes support for outputting ES modules. Okay. So we don't need to update this. We can, okay, let's do that. Let's see the documentation here. Well, that's nice. We can just get rid of one other extra bit. Oh, it just took us to some random blog? Yes, random blog. Yes, modules. Wow. Worker loader, style loader, HTML loader. All of these have ES modules. Just click on the top one. This outputs an ESM library from your bundle. I think what this is talking about is target library bits. Let's search for ESM. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes. This isn't all that helpful. So what was this doing? Okay, let's look. Plugins. Okay, maybe we might not even have to change anything if all it's doing is looking at the library target. Are we even using it? Let's look at the template first. Look at their config. No, it's not even being used. Okay. That simplifies that. Well, it doesn't even seem like it's being used here, so we can just get rid of that. Try the install again. Morning, Dreg. You think I need to type module in the package.json? The new Webpack should pick up that as an ESM module. Okay, perfect, because I think we already have module type for that already. Okay, so that worked. But if we go into our package, actually, I don't see type here. We'll see. Wrangler build. Now it can run Webpack. All right. It's compiling the Rust code from Webpack. Oh dear. What has this world become? Unexpected token. Okay. We can deal with that. But I want to see where this where our WASM ended up. Okay, those. And what about, was it in build? Oh, nothing in build. Yeah, a lot of stuff here. Is it tossing it in package? We're gonna remove target package dist. What else is build? Let's remove that too. Just gonna toss those in there for now. Not cargo, Wrangler build. Okay, so we do have index speech WASM. So that's where that ended up. That's good. Fancy. Wow, look at that. Okay, now to deal with that error. What was the error? JS index line 514. Yeah, yep. Function. What do we have in here? The request and the environment. And then we pass that through to this thing. And nothing changed? Wait, async fetch. That should be like so. No function in there. There we go. Object is not a, wait, module is not an object or function. Code generated. Interesting. And module build failed from cfwasmloader.js. Module is not an object or function. Great. So we can look at that. cfwasmloader line 15. Now, I haven't seen this before, but what they're doing here is generating code from the WebAssembly file. So we have our loader utils. It's just they're creating a Webpack plugin. Compile the content. So let's see, we've got our output. And where's WASM coming from? That's coming from here, and that's coming from content. Let's see. See, it shouldn't be that. That's the wrong file. This should be only loaded for WebAssembly files, I believe. Yeah, we're instantiating WebAssembly. So let's go back and look at our Webpack config file. Here's our WASM plugin. And only for .wasm. Is that the directory name? Why is that file coming in here? So if we look here, it's saying import number 0 module. Oh, is this where it's from? We're loading this file, and this is being imported from that file. Module is not an object or function. What are these values here? That's interesting. I want to look at this file. That looks kind of normal for one of these. Import. This says WASM because it's a WASM file, so that's what we're importing. The rest of it, it's just some of the bindings. These are ranges in the file. It's like line 37, maybe. Here. Ah, yes. Interesting. And 38 had something as well. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay. So now we start to understand the output of this. But next we have to figure out how to fix this. Module is not an object or function. So what does WebAssembly instantiate do? I have a guess. Well, let's look it up on MDN. Allows you to compile and instantiate WebAssembly code. This function has two overloads. Primary overload takes the WebAssembly binary code in the form of typed array or array buffer and performs both compilation and instantiation in one step. The returned promise resolves to both the compiled WebAssembly module and its first instance. The second overload takes an already compiled WebAssembly module and returns a promise that resolves to an instance of that module. This overload is useful if the module has already been compiled. Okay. And it's saying that that's failing? Import content hash from CF. I wonder if I'm using the wrong version of Node for this. 15? Oh, I don't have Node version manager. What's the latest? So 16 is current. Oh, it's not very old. I think this prototype was built with 15 then. Unless they were ahead. What's the error again? Module is not an object or function. Alright, we're gonna ask the Oracle real quick. Now look at that. Okay. April 1st this year. Okay, let's go back. Why am I using Cloudflare for this case? Because it seemed like a decent platform to try it out on. Are you thinking like instead of lambdas somewhere else? Right. I wonder, did we have some other error that happened along the way? Oh, see, look, it says one error. Is this the error? This must be the error. Now, if we come back and we look at Wrangler, we end up just running the build here. And somehow it knows that we have to build via Rust. We add anything in here? Our cargo.toml, no. Our Webpack knows how to build Rust stuff. WASM tool, oh, WASM tool might. Let's look at that for a moment. There we go. Yeah, it's a Webpack plugin for Rust. Okay, so that there knows how to compile Rust code. So that's how those two link together. And these are the WASM pack args. No TypeScript, target bundler, mode normal. Yeah, I was playing around with these yesterday. I don't know, this seems okay. And I don't think there's anything special here. I really do think that the error is happening in here, but I'm not sure why. Let's experiment a little bit and see if we can draw out some more info. What is content? Oh, did it just format? Oh, interesting. Okay. I wonder if my formatter is causing an issue. All right. So it's just bytes. And that's fine. So we have our bytes. The bytes are going into this WASM object. Now let's look at what WASM is. You know what I didn't do? I didn't validate that the test project just works. I didn't do that. Oh, you know what? I might have had. Let's see. What? Oh, no, no, no. This other guy on Discord may have actually solved this. Okay. The one change I did, this is coming from him, was he said, I did have to make, let's see, putting an underscore before a couple instances of content hash in CFWASM loader, as he was getting a content hash that started with a digit, which confused the JS parser. So here, where else would that confuse it? here, that and that. Let's see, is that wrapping correctly? Okay, let's try that. Okay, so it's a WebAssembly module. That's good. Same error still. This does seem to be some other kind of error. Now, I want to check something first. Yeah, same things we went through earlier. Hey, morning. How you doing? Oh, you just learned about him this morning. WizX Mike. Good morning. Well, we're trying to get Rust, getting something running with Rust here. We're having an error with this line here. Part of the problem is that you cannot load code at runtime in a Cloudflare worker. So you have to do some things that kind of translate them over to being available statically. Now, in this case, we are instantiating some of the WASM code in order to get some of the properties off of it. But we're getting this error here. Module is not an object or function. This is at line 16, or should still be at line 16, 17 now, 15. Okay, line 15 now. Yes. I guess it could be that well, this is coming from, maybe I didn't import it. It's a good question. Yeah, let's go make sure our code is sane. Let's see. So here we have lib. Goodness, we've got a lot of code in here. Where do we start there? Probably in the JS index bit. Because this is supposed to load that file. And I think it's just the fact that it's trying to load that is the error. So if we comment out the rest of this, right, and just say, hey, we want to load this. And we build it. What happens? Webpack should see that nothing's getting loaded. Okay. And then if we comment that out, no, we don't get the error? Maybe. Okay. So it is just that line. Importing this causes the problem. Okay. That's good to know. Now we can go look at our WASM and simplify that. I'm going to simplify this a lot, and then we can just reintroduce pieces. What should we have left in here? Let's say we comment out all of it. An empty library. Should work. Okay. And was that with JSLib? Okay, so that was fine. Interesting. Interesting. So is that going to be how our... Oh, sorry. Here, I'm just going to start to slowly introduce code again. Yeah, that works. Now we can get into CF and util. CF is all of the Cloudflare bits. So our bindings to the JavaScript object that Cloudflare provides, like event, request, response, yada yada. And it also had util in there. Hopefully it's not an error with util code, because util is simple as well. It's just setting up the panic hook. Okay, I'm just gonna fly through this. So I want to know which is causing the issue. Okay, we'll start there. Whoa, something in here did it. Is it the result? That would be unfortunate. Good. Wasm bind gen? Or the text encoder bits? Really? Whoa, 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 whoa. That worked before, right? We went from... Right, we were excited that it wasn't module and it wasn't... Uh-oh. Okay, I did that wrong then. Is it temperamental? Does it only happen sometimes? Let's run it again. Third time's a charm. No? Okay. So something with util then? No. This is outrageous. Okay. All right, let's step into this one. What is it inside of CF that is the issue? See, all of these externs, I think all of those are fine. But maybe where we start to impl these elements down here. All right. We'll Boolean search it. This will take seven tries max. Oh, first one. Really? Wasm bindgen and JS's? I don't believe you. Is it promise or uint 8 array? Okay, uint 8 array. Either of them. Okay, so JS isn't liked at all. That is surprising. And let's say we have something. Actually, let's spine gen okay. That one's okay. And then if we did this, which just gives us access to their console log, still okay. A little bit more. Can I find request in the scope? Yes, and request is here. And then now we need fetch Fetchers, headers, readable stream. This kind of this goes pretty quick to the rest of it. But now we have uint8 array, which, goodness, if that's the error. So what actually supports a uint8 array? Is it possible that as we compile this, that uint8 array just isn't available? It's because our node version? And here, let's all right, let's go check this out. Browser compatibility. Node.js since version 10, 12 out of 12. Hmm. Node is your favorite, yes? Okay, so why is this failing? Comes down to this. We have some WASM code that's being compiled correctly by Rust, but then our WebAssembly instantiate is not pleased with it. And it's saying that, what was the error? Module is not an object or function. So it's saying that the module, so we're referencing things that don't exist in this WebAssembly, like in its available toolbox. Wow. Okay. And that's these two guys here. So the JSys bits don't exist. I wonder why. No politics? What is this, Basecamp? And good morning. Is this LG Broad? Good morning. How you doing? Yeah, workplace isn't really a social club. So, see, uint8 array. What do we do with these? I mean, are they available at all? Or do we have to say that? See, what I understood was, yeah, this is just an extra in C promise, right? Kind of like the other bits. Extends object. We're not even using the TypeScript bits, so that doesn't count. All right, so oh goodness, we've got all sorts of promises being returned. I'm gonna see what I can get working in here. This is quite surprising to me. Here, let's grab this. I'm going to look up, let's say, we're going to ask the Oracle here. Something really simple, this and that. Toss in Rust, API documentation. Webpack. I can't believe this is on MDN. What does this do again? So we are attempting to have a Cloudflare worker, right? So you can make a request to Cloudflare. And let's see, like this. I think we already had something up and running at one point. Is it still there? No. Okay. But you'd make a request, right? And you'd be able to get some sort of response. Now, the response that we want is a website. We want an actual website. So we're building up the infrastructure to be able to store generated templates in our cache system. And then we should be able to return them here. So as you're going through and editing the website, you would make changes that would interact with some durable object, and then you'd store it in the cache. And thank you, Lazy Nut. Thank you for the follow. But we're having an issue with module is not an object or function. Object.modules.exports. Okay, and it seems to be related to these. And that if we comment out the rest of it, I don't understand why this would cause an error though. It's not like we're using them. It's not used. Well, okay, it's technically used, but it's not like used, right? This shouldn't add anything to the binary. But it does? How? That is so strange. Let's take a look at build WASM. Okay, I think it's going to be this file. MD5 build WASM that. Okay. And now let's comment these out. Build it. Okay, so yes, we get a different one. And if we just build it again, is it different again? No, it's the same. Okay, so having a use command in there does influence the output. Maybe not if it's optimized away. All right. Now, out of curiosity, let's do that and this. So now we should have some errors because we do not have these imported, right? But if we just happen to say, you know what, we want a extern C, pub type promise, right? I'm just going to toss that on there. say, we know one exists, na 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 na, and then also a uint data array. I mean, this is very nearly the same thing. Yeah. Fancy. That's just so fancy. What if we renamed all promises to like a JS promise? Okay, now they're all called JS promise. Let's rename this to JS uint data array. Great. Save it. Build it. Is it like conflicting somehow? No idea. Wow. Okay. So how are we going to tease this apart? It's one of those hard moments streaming. Like, this is a hard problem. It's not a very useful error. So we could either try to understand instantiate a bit better. Let's go look at instantiate again. First, what are we passing to instantiate? We are passing some result of the WebAssembly compile. So that's working, but instantiate's not. Oh, interesting. Is this because we're actually trying to we're instantiating the WebAssembly? Do those types not exist here? I mean, promises must exist here. It's an async function. We're awaiting things. So why would promise not exist? Or is this somehow magical and we need to say, oh, you know what? We need to make sure that promise and uint array are passed in here. Let's go see it. What is the second value to that? Or was it? Close, close, close. Close that. Bye-bye. There we go. Oh, I see. So yeah, we might actually need to provide those. Import object. An object containing the values to be imported into the newly created instance, such as functions or WebAssembly memory objects. There must be one matching property for each declared import of module, or else a WebAssembly link error is thrown. Okay. All right, so what is the WebAssembly module that we're passing in? Let's see if we can get a little bit more debug info out of this. Console log. WASM. With one more single quote. There we go. Okay. Build it again, please. One more time. Module. WebAssembly module. That's it. That's not helpful. Now, examples. Here we go. After fetching some WebAssembly bytecode using fetch, we compile and instantiate the module using the WebAssembly instantiate function, importing a JavaScript function into the WebAssembly module in the process. When we call the exported WebAssembly function, that is exported by the instance. Okay. Here's our import object, imports, imported func, fetch wasm, instantiate. Okay, so they're trying to use that. All right, so how do we pass in promise? I mean, that's promise. Int h array. Hmm. Module is not an object or function at object module exports. Oh, we need imports. Yeah, I didn't set this object up correctly. All right. Is that correct? Then we have imported func, right? But this is just something that's made available. Let's rename those. Oh, we got to do it the right way. Okay. Rename this one. This song is too sleepy. It sounds like a, I don't know, lullaby. Some little, yeah, that's better. Maybe, maybe we're missing something else. I mean, maybe module is not an object or function at object.module.exports. What is object.module.exports? Node module exports explained. Okay. I think it has to do with these types. Hey, thank you for the follow. Low End Ventures. I mean, maybe. What to say, JSys? That seems weird. Penthouse, thank you for the follow. But it doesn't feel like this is namespaced. I don't think it is namespaced. No, it would be on this here if there was a module. Hey, thank you for the follow. Good morning. Did I miss like a raid or something? Welcome everyone. Okay. There must be, I mean, we only have so much available to us. I wonder I wonder if we could look at the WebAssembly. I want to, decompile it essentially. Oh, to C compiler. Interesting. Reverse engineering. Morning, JT. How you doing? Disassembler. Online disassembler. Here we go. Wah wah. Okay. That one's not there. Yeah, this is just machine assembly, some other stuff. Okay, WASM deck. WASM to C. I just want like WASM to something like this. Because this is WebAssembly, but we don't get it like this. We don't get it's like compiled already. Let's see. Well, let's see if. What is the problem? The problem is that this appears to be using some elements that are not available, specifically promise and uint 8 array. And I'm not sure why these aren't available, but whenever we reference those, we get this error here. WebAssembly instantiate module is not an object or function at object.module.exports. Okay. I would expect that we could use a promise or uint 8 array in our WASM bindings here. So right now we are referencing those here. And if we include code that references those, we get the error. Let's comment out a bit of this. Let's say we're going to just go down to this, comment that out. Same thing here. Okay. Now we just have promise. Promise should still cause us to fail per our test before. Good. Now if we go back into CFWASM loader, and here's our imports object. I don't know if we have this right. Like, what is it actually looking for here? I would expect that we would have to be able to define something here in order to be able to use it inside of the WebAssembly. So I was trying to set up, oh, well, look, here's promise, and there's uint8 array. Hopefully passing in those values. I wonder if we come back in. Here's instantiate. Link error examples. So in this case, we have our import object. Let's bump up the text there. And that is passed into WebAssembly as instantiate. Bytes is the WebAssembly. Right, they're loading some simple.wasm that we don't know the code to. Oh, view it live here. It doesn't seem like it did anything. Maybe it did. Results.instances.export. Okay. So after that, then we get something else, but we're not getting past this stage. So maybe our names aren't lining up correctly. I wonder what they're looking for. And this is where if we were able to decompile the WebAssembly, we'd be able to look into that. Let's see. We're just going to pull this up here. We're going to look for some strings. No promise? We have some other stuff in here. You know, I'm not seeing strings at all. WASM bytecode browser? No, that's not going to be helpful. I want to take the bytecode back to WebAssembly. So we did see that, let's see, we do have a module here, and this is a WebAssembly module, but it doesn't really tell us anything else about this. I mean, do we have to say, yeah, how do we map these up? Let's find a yeah. This isn't a good example. Compile. Not super helpful. Okay, let's remove Rust. You can translate it with in JS. Now, what do you mean you can translate it? Like the WASM file? Is that going to make it any more obvious to us? I mean, then we would get the hex code for it, right? This would just be hex. You're saying I mean, we can just do a dump, right, for this if we want to do like a All right. Oh, actually, strings. Uh, okay. Luckily, we don't have very much code. Just flip through it real quick. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I wanted to look at the strings inside the WASM file, but I'm not seeing any reference to promise, and we left promise in there. Well, we should have it in here. Yeah, that's what so that's exactly what I was hoping to be able to do, is to take the WebAssembly bytecode back to WebAssembly format. So if we look at WebAssembly, right, it's very Lispish. Well, here, yeah, this is the format I want. Oh, you know what we could do? Maybe we look for. Oops. Oh, did I close my Vim? Uh, where did we have that? Webpack config. There was a config here. So we could pass some extra arguments to the WASM pack. Now WASM pack. So I was hoping that the output possible values no install normal and force. Okay, I'm not sure what that means in this case. Oh look, there's a WASM disk. Oh great, this is exactly what we want. Perfect. And then just the in file, and then any options. Okay. Let's see. Build WASM index bg WASM bat. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Okay. So this is kind of what we want. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Let's see promise. import indexbg.sys. What? What? Why? Why would it import that? That's here, and it's circular because the first line there actually goes to the other one, that file itself. Okay, maybe that's not actually it. Extern ref. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this. This is broken.wat. And then we will come back into CF. Actually, let's do it the other way, okay? We're going to have the broken one only have promise. We have to build it first. All right, so now we should have a broken version. Save that to broken.wat. Go back up to the top. Comment that out. Do it again. Good what? Div. Broken and good. Too much. Wait. Actually. So this is what is introduced in the broken one. It's all just ads. That's surprising. Oh. Huh. It's that section at the top, isn't it? Defining types here. Yeah, it looks very much like Lisp. It might actually be Lisp. Okay, so we end up having these types up here, right? So instead of just memory memory $0 is set to 16. Do we have anything like that at the bottom in here? No. Okay. A little too sleepy. That one. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Oh, here's memory. Right. That changed. And these aren't named. These are just types, it looks like. So, so we have a module. So I want to scroll down to the end. Is that not the same? It's matching them all up. I'm gonna break it. Um, for some reason, it actually breaks in half at the wrong spot. There must be some escaping that's confusing it. All right. So, if the only part that's different is this blob up at the front, right? It was just at the front, wasn't it? Yeah, lines. Let's see, it kind of jumps. Does it? No, it's contiguous. Not really paying attention anymore, but it's going to 5,000, 6,000. Quite a bit. Is this everything that's supporting Promise? So like 23,000? Oy, that's like the whole thing. Oh, well, there you go. Binary's empty. The good one. That's not fair. I wanted a diff to know which was the offending piece. All right. All right. Like, ooh, yeah, that's oh my goodness. Um, yeah, let's see if we can. I don't know. 'Cause all we're doing is adding promise. Can we add something smaller than promise? Promise has some stuff in it because it ends up, I think, referencing these functions here. I bet that confuses me here. So if we come back to CF here and we leave this commented out, but we have that there. And let's say we're just gonna comment out some of these that reference that. Okay, promise is commented out. Uint 8 array already commented out. So now we're not referencing any of those types, only types that we have internal or types we brought with us. Yeah, which is just Rust types. So let's try this again. Wrangler build. Okay. So this is all of our new code. It's actually not very large. These are just the types. See, I thought that we needed bundler here. Let's look at the other values here that we can pass into Webpack. The default here is bundler. We could do something else too. Maybe we change that to web. Yeah, that doesn't seem any different. Um, you do WASM calls from Dino, not Node.js. You think it's cleaner? Interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how um, Webpack would work with Dino because we need some of these other scripts for bundling them. It looks good in here so far. Module is not an object or function. We don't know which one it's actually talking about. All we know is that when we include or exclude those. Oh, wait. Module WBG? Is this it? What do we have before? Oh, here. Index BG. Yeah, I don't know why I was trying to import this file. This seems like a circular reference. Okay. So actually let's look at the WAT file now. Yeah, it's importing WBG instead of the other file. Ooh, we found a clue. So in build WASM. So you have basically these three files. WASM, of course, is the WASM file. This here imports the WASM file. You can see here. So occasionally, when we had been getting the wrong value, not this one here, but sometimes when we were referencing the other file, we were seeing that it was importing module index underscore That's interesting. Okay, and then we had the index.js. Response options? What are these? Oh, these are our generated types? Yes. These are types that oh look, here they do an instantiate streaming and they pass in imports. Where's load used? Okay, init. Why aren't we using this? Right here's our WBG. It's just an empty object. So why wouldn't we use this in that because this is supposed to return WASM. Okay. So we await the load. Load. Just looking at a couple more things. Follow imports. Okay, here. Yeah, we just call that directly. If we take that, we go over to this here. There's imports. Let's try running it again. Oh, and now it's saying that index BG. I didn't think that we did index BG. Oh, it is there now. All right, let's pretend that we do that. Wait, did we actually change anything with that? No, we didn't change this. So why did it go from one to the other? Um, This one's a little trickier. Okay. Then it also wants what? At least now we know how to do this. Yeah, W bind gen throw, which is the same as this one. Give that a little copy paste. There we go. Okay, now we have that set up. Let's give it a build. And it worked. Why in the world? There must be something else we can get from this. Now, content is a stream of bytes. Maybe we can stringify it? Nothing. It's just empty. Okay. And if we comment this out, it's still fine. Okay, I'm going to leave that in there for now. I do not know why it's referencing itself again. But now that we have the tools to understand that, I think we can make a little bit more progress. So let's go back into CF and look for sections where we've commented out large blocks. That needs to stay commented out. We do not use those. Let's just delete them. Okay. All right. Build it. I'm still very suspicious of this. Um, great. So now we can go back to source lib. We made it past CF. Let's just do the whole thing now. I mean, if that's going to work. Ah, look. Function URL. Now, interesting. And okay. So we need to load this and provide it to that as an import. So we could do that because this function here should be defined inside. Maybe you have to create the module before the instance. I don't think so. I think that we have to load the index_bg file and provide it as imports to the instantiate. Here, let's take another look at the WASM. Yeah, now you can see we've got many more functions being imported. Okay, this is starting to make sense. I wish we could get these and know what it's expecting to be imported. But I didn't see that in the compiled code. Well, in the output. So in CF here, this wasn't showing us anything. want to see if we can find anything else about this. Return value, a promise that resolves to a WebAssembly.module object. Static properties, exports, imports. Ooh. Alright, so maybe we should look at imports then. Oh no, that's a function. Given a module, return an array containing descriptions of all the declared exports. It's okay. Well, let's see what this returns. Const WASM module equals new WebAssembly module WASM code. Instantiate that. Oh, interesting. But isn't that what this WebAssembly.compile is doing? Let's see what that'll do. Oh, imports is not a function. Or do I have to... There's a way to instantiate and compile in the same round. See, here we have module. And so we already have a WebAssembly module. Although I'm not quite sure what this means. Is it an array of modules? Is it a module? All right. Interesting. So you're saying creates a new module object. You just give it the bytes. And this returns a promise that resolves to that. I see. So same thing. Okay, so I think both of these end up at the same place with a module. Static properties. And then imports. Oh, I see. So we have to call this the other way. Oh, well, it's doing it here. Exports. Oh, we have to do this before we get the instance. So we can do that there. Yeah, this line 27 gives us a module. That's already been declared. Hold on a sec. Right. So imports was already oh, way up there. Way up there. Foobar. Oh, look at that. So we get the module. So we could load that file and pass that in. Okay. So we can get that file, but what would we do with it? We need to load it. Somebody's having fun with the camera today. All right, we're gonna stop that. I can't work like this. I turn the camera off. Oh, you can play with that later. Just not right now. Oh, I broke his little heart. Oh no. All right. Um. So let's load that file. Let's see. How can we do that in this code here? Guess we could require it, couldn't we? Oh, convert to ES6 module. Huh. All right. Let's just require that file and see if we can pass that in here. So imports, we would end up having some object here. Then we would loop over whatever we get here. Let's pull this down. Let's get rid of that for a moment. Okay. And then for each one of these, we would load a file, require it in, and just set it to its value there. For let's see, what did we get out of there? We have an array of objects with module. And we could just or I don't know, or imp in imports. That tank. Thank you for the follow. Okay. We'll have imp there. Run it again. See if we get that right. Cannot use import statement outside of a module. Fine. We'll undo that. What changed between those? Was it just yeah. Unexpected token export? Where? Oh, at the bottom? All right. Now where are we at here? Actually, I think I've butchered this subtly. That should be the same. I'm going to copy from there to there, undo a little bit. Okay. And then go from here down to the other emit. Good. That should repair whatever I did. I don't know what it was though. Okay, great. So now we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An array. Wait. I am absolutely drawing a blank. How do you for each on an object here? Of? No. This is just for each? No, that's not what I want. I want a for var in. I don't want the array one. Okay, whatever. Let name equals, here's a map. I don't think I can in this case because a number of elements have the same key here because we're going to want to import this once as long as it exists, or if we import this if it exists. I mean, we could use a reduce on this. So we could fold. What is it? Array. Oh, they have a reduce. I thought they had a fold. There you go. Accumulator current value. Flat map. No, no, no. Okay. So it is reduce. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Callback function. In fact, we're going to be modifying, what is it? Import object. Okay. Module. Oh yeah, the accumulator and that. So we modify accumulator and return accumulator. Yeah, it's the same in Rust. And Erlang and just about everything. So we have the name, we have the accumulator. Now, object dot has own property name. So if it doesn't have this, if not, then we do something. And in this case, we have to try to load this function, but I don't know where it is. Right. See, I don't think it's going to be able to do that. But I think this is what we need, something like this. Then we should be able to get rid of these elements here, because that should be inside of the file. All right. Okay, now find module. Okay, yeah. Can't find that. That's going to be in build WASM. Cannot find that. Why not? It's there. Is it because of where we currently are? Where's our output path? Where does that get set? Contacts. Okay, no. Maybe up a directory? I don't know where the context is for this. No. Maybe it's because we don't know about that directory here. So our entry point for Webpack is what? JS index. Morning. How you doing? Oops. Do I work at Cloudflare? I do not work at Cloudflare. I do not. Okay. But we need this to be wired up correctly. So which requires this? That we're not actually inside of the produced code, right? The generated code or the code that we're parsing. So what does this require do? Where's our path for this? I mean, maybe we need to construct something here. Alt Rust for the win. Thank you for the follow. What other kind of values do we have? Or can we say like a file name, your name? Because we know where we are. I mean, we could construct something. Let's log out the current working directory. Is maybe that? Actually, let's see. Okay, so this is the directory, and that directory plus. Actually, if we got rid of that dot dot there, it would be correct. But it's still going to tell us you can't load it, isn't it? Oh, interesting. Yeah, now it's actually. Oh, this is tricky. How do we do this? Um, because we have to give this a live object to instantiate this WASM module. And the problem is we're actually in the process of parsing this file. But the WASM file actually wants imports from it. So if we, let's see, let's go back. Let's go look at that file again. So our Rust code generates this WASM bit here. This here is where we end up trying to load the WASM file, right? But in order to load the WASM file, I think we need all of this stuff. Yeah, like these elements here. Because those, I do not think those are in this one. No, they're not. So why, how, this is like a catch-22. if we look at the disassembled WASM code, we can see that it needs to import from that file this function. All right. So use require. That's a generated function. We don't have access to that. Um, let's see. Let's go back there. Let's look at it again. Can I use import statement outside of a module? Yes. And technically, it's inside of a module. Um, generate with no modules? Maybe. Good morning, Chicane. So let's go back into, goodness, here. And we could try targeting something else like web. Give it a build. Okay. Not resolve. Build WASM index PG. Okay. Why? What happened? Build WASM. Oh, it's gone. Okay. So yes, maybe we can do this then. But then we have our init function. Basically, I want to rip out this init function. Right? This is exactly what we need. So maybe I could just load this file. Can I actually just call this? Like, why wouldn't we just be calling this? See, because of this here. No, we should be able to pass in the input. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Get the WASM file, have the input, pass in that, and it does all the work here. All of this is pre-generated. And then we return the WASM. Why wouldn't we do this? Okay, coming back into the loader, I'm going to stash some stuff or stage it. Let's see, that, this, these elements. These can go away. Okay. So we grab that, right? Do we need to call this again? I don't think so. I think it's going to be compiling for us. right? Where's our input? Let's follow the input. Load is called. Yes, okay. That should be fine. So content in this case is the WASM. Not resolve. IndexBG. Are we still referencing that from... Where are we referencing that? Oh, okay. That's in build wasm package.json. No, we have the index there. It's just a module. This looks correct. What else? It's just in package. JS index. Oh, we are loading IndexBG. Look at that. Why? Okay. It's an interesting question. Should we have been doing that before? Maybe we shouldn't have been doing that before. Just to experiment with this, if we go back to Webpack's config, undo that, change that back to bundler, build it again, and look at that file. We would have gotten to this point where we still needed to load the WASM file and this, but the WASM file is actually loading the other file still. Yes. Okay, so we can't do that. However, if we change this back to web and build it again, right now we're actually importing WBG, which is different. As callable function. Huh. Oh, that's neat. You suck at making omelets? All right. So, our error. What kind of omelet were you making? Cannot find. Build wasm index. Hmm. Oh, a cheese omelet. Hmm. Export function, fetch handler. Unexpected token export. All right. So what's your process for making your omelet? Pink fluffy llama? Hmm. Okay, I'm going to step back a little bit. Go back here. Undo that change. Still do a Wrangler build here. Should go through the same problem. Great. Cannot use import statement outside of a module. I thought it was a module. There's a module. This seems wrong. Let's give that a clean. Okay, now we have 3 files. Interesting that they do not list this file. What is this one for then? Huh, weird. Well, we could remove the first line from this and load it. Seems a little iffy though. See, we really need these exported functions to be provided. Excuse me. All right, so put the pan on, get eggs out, so whisk them. How interesting. Um, you're probably underestimating the amount of butter you need. Omelets actually need an outrageous amount of butter. Is this also a non-stick pan? And you're making like yeah, non-stick skillet. Where is my favorite? No, not Martha Stewart. We want videos with oh, what's his name? Pippin? Ah, Jacques Pepin. Here we go. This is what you want. You either do a farmhouse omelet or the other one. I think he actually talks about both of them in here. He does a French one first. And then he does kind of the American one second. So, and he's using a fork on a nonstick pan. I mean, you can probably just afford getting a whole bunch of them, but yeah. There you go. I gotta run, sadly. Let's see. I got an early meeting today. Stuck Overflow. Rust. I don't think I've ever rated them before. Let's see what they're doing. You got some sort of ad going. All right. We're going to give them a raid. They're doing some Raspberry Pi stuff. So. All right, y'all. I'll probably try to play around with this a little bit tonight, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. So hopefully we can get further, though. So until next time.